It is week 4 of the Wolfey Draft League Season 2, and your Jubilife Piplups are taking on a brand new team for the first time in VGC Draft League in Playmore, which consists of several players. So we're going to see how it goes, but we have a very scary team that we are playing against that features Mega Gengar Shell Tag Trapping alongside a lot of potential scary options that our opponent does have. Let's break down the teams, go over the team that we brought, and then play the matches. So this is Playmore's team, and it is very scary. Shadow Tag, of course, a very terrifying ability because if you position wrong, it can be very devastating because Mega Gengar prevents you from being able to switch, and we don't have access to Shed Shell in this draft league because that is a MB item, and we're currently playing in an MA draft league here. So very terrifying mon, and normally in VGC we see it with Perish Song or we see it with multiple attacks plus disable, but in Draft League it gets a lot of great coverage options. Nasty Plot, which could be a scary setup mon, Substitute is always going to be terrifying, and just great coverage options in general. Mega Gengar are definitely going to be a threat because I do not have the best resist to Mega Gengar, so that thing will be a monster with its high 170 special attack. The Incineroar, Maushold, Blastoise, really great supports that we are seeing here. The Como, which is going to be scary because both physical and special can set up with Declaring Soul. Hatterene, my fairy type matchup is not super ideal. Mega Aggron, which can be a very scary second mode if I am not prepared for it. The Rotom Fan is actually something I'm a little bit scared of because of the fact that it has really good electric coverage. Gliscor, which we've seen offensive from Playmore previously in the league, and then the Simisage, which is actually going to be the biggest annoyance to me because I'm really hoping the Simisage either gets left behind or I'm able to handle it quickly because that mon, fast grass type, can actually threaten my Blastoise, which is actually pretty big to the components of my game plan here. But if you had to ask me what am I expecting from Playmore here, I'm thinking we're probably going to see the Mega Gengar and Incineroar. I'm like pretty sure it's very likely to be brought. I'm thinking we're also going to probably see the Hatterene in Mega Aggron mode. From the games that I have at least studied for Playmore, I have seen the adjustments where like the Hatterene and Aggron usually come as well as the Mega Gengar, so you have that different ways that you could adjust. So I am expecting probably like a Mega Gengar game 1 and then maybe a game 2 adjustment of Hatterene Aggron. I'm gonna play it from there. Simisage is actually a mon I could definitely see here. I think it actually being able to threaten to bypass the redirection option that I have for my Vivillon for my Blastoise is pretty terrifying. And then I'm thinking like one of Maushold or Rotom Fan could be really scary because Rotom Fan electric coverage is actually pretty strong against my team, and then Maushold redirection is just so great. I think it complements multiple modes with the Hatterene and the Aggron, as well as of course just the Gengar mode. So those are the Pokemon I'd probably say. Blastoise could be brought, but I think a bit less likely. I don't think Como, like it can be threatening, but I don't think it's as threatening as the others. And then Gliscor I'm not too worried about because I do have access to a lot of coverage that can threaten the Blastoise. So let's break down the team that I decided to bring for this week. So this is the team that I am bringing this week against Playmore, and the idea of this team, I had this idea when I saw the first draft. I'm like, oh, if I'm playing against Perish, I feel pretty good about it. I'm not expecting Perish Song realistically in this matchup, just because I have so many ways to be able to pivot. The Dragapult, the Rotom Heat with the Volt Switch option. I have multiple Pokemon that learn U-Turn, so I don't actually expect Perish Song in this matchup, so I am expecting like a more offensive Gengar potentially. So I'm thinking I can fully commit here with some options that I do have, and that one is going to be the Shell Smash Blastoise, and I think Shell Smash Blastoise is pretty strong if I am able to set it up nice, and it is one of the best ways to be able to threaten, of course, like the Aggron, while also being able to threaten like pretty much everything through the redirection that the Maushold does provide. So if we're going for Shell Smash Blastoise, I still want a lot of bulk to be able to absorb one hit from like the Mega Gengar, which can be pretty important, and I want Dark Pulse to be able to threaten the Mega Gengar as well, which I think is pretty crucial. And then the EV spread, just being able to just dish out as much damage as possible, and 3 speed, that allows me just to outspeed Mega Gengar after the Shell Smash, which I think is generally good enough for what I need the Blastoise to accomplish. The main idea of this team is to lead Blastoise with Vivillon here, because this Vivillon, I have a lot of ways to play around my opponents. So we are going with a very specially defensive Vivillon, and as you can see here, the reason why I have this specially defensive Vivillon is if there is like a Maushold plus Gengar combination, and there's like a Super Fang plus like modest Sludge Bomb option that I could definitely see I do survive the Super Fang, have the Citrus Berry recover the Vivillon because it's an even HP stat, And then I have access to, I will always live on modest max special attack Sludge Bomb from Mega Gengar. So that's kind of the idea with this Vivian. So I can live that combo. That allows Blastoise to get the Shell Smash up safely. And then I can just like Water Spout away. So that's the idea of this like super specially defensive Vivian. It is going to be mainly for that Mouse Hold plus the Gengar combination, which could be terrifying. I do have Pollen Puff, which is nice to threaten damage on the Semi-Stage, but also heal my Blastoise in case Blastoise gets weakened on earlier. I have the Shield Dust ability, so I do have access to Whirlwind against like Fake Out from the Incineroar, so I can still play around the Shadow Tag that way. I had this idea where it's like, okay, against Perish, if there was Perish, I'd be able to like Shell Smash Blastoise, get a KO, then Whirlwind with my Vivian out the Blastoise, so the Blastoise is still around on the field later, so it can threaten a lot of damage. That was kind of the idea of the Vivian, so that's what we're going to be doing here, and we'll see if it works. I actually think the EV spread might be wrong on this. I think it might be 27 special defense and 8 speed or 8 defense, but it's still like whatever does survive the Sludge Bomb. But I made sure I guaranteed survived it regardless. Then to pair up with the Vivian, the Blastoise, I wanted a few other options. The Dragapult with the Thunder Wave I think is pretty good against the Gengar mode, because after Vivian goes down, if I'm stacking the Rage Powder and I need extra speed advantage, I could lead Dragapult, have the access to Thunder Wave, so I can Thunder Wave the Gengar, as well as like Thunder Wave Dark Pulse is definitely an option. Like Paraflinch is a thing, but also like it's just pretty strong to be able to threaten and eliminate, remove the Gengar, which can be nice if Vivian is not around on the field. I do also have like Timid to be able to outspeed the Modest Como. And they need to be Timid Como in order to outspeed me after Clanger's Soul, which I feel the Timid is just being able to outspeed the Gengar as well as the Modest Como after the Clanger's Soul is definitely worth it. Then the rest is going to be the Espafra with the Cassie Berry, which is nice because I can still easily take a Shadow Ball from the Mega Gengar, set up a Calm Mind, and Illumina Crash is threatening a lot of damage. I also have the Ally Switch, which means that if I get a board position where I need to protect the Blastoise from getting a hit off or anything else, I could go for that Ally Switch, maybe catch a position off guard, and really, again, one turn with a Shell Smash or Water Spout can be very deadly. So that's the idea behind this Ally Switch tech on the Espafra, but Calm Mind can also allow it to be effective sweeper. Espafra plus Blastoise can also just be super strong into my opponent because that Lumina Crash plus the Water Spout is very nice. The spread on this Espafra allows me to outspeed the +2 Blastoise after one speed boost. The Lumina Crash, super threatening, and yeah, just able to tank a lot of the attacks as I mentioned before, threatening a lot of damage with that Lumina Crash. Rotom Heat is also going to be brought here because I like the idea of being able to threaten the Aggron mode especially, and having that Fairy Resist against Hatterene is going to be pretty important. EV Spread, max special attack with Charcoal gives me the best chance to OHKO like max special defense Mega Aggron through the filter. And the Volt Switch to play around the Shadow Tag, and Helping Hand can actually be pretty nice because it does allow Lucario to really go in, or potentially to Dragapult or Blastoise. I think Helping Hand is just pretty solid for options, and I don't really think I need screens or like any other support. So I do think Helping Hand is the best move to go for here. And I don't really need much speed on this Rotom Heat because it's mainly for that Aggron Hatterene mode. And then Lucario. And this Lucario, very interesting. I don't really plan on Mega Evolving the Lucario. I'm just using it for Inner Focus against like Incineroar plus like Hatterene mode. And I have the Final Gambit on this Lucario because if it's like a Babiri Berry like we saw like Joey run on the Sylveon, because Hatterene's actually a pretty bulky Pokemon, then I could go for Final Gambit into the Hatterene, and even after a Fake Out, I should still knock it out because Hatterene doesn't have the highest HP stat. So just being able to knock out the Hatterene through that is really, really impressive. And then I still have a lot of attack. I have that Meteor Mash plus Bullet Punch because it is able to threaten the Hatterene regardless. And the Close Combat, of course, for the strong fighting coverage. It's going to be another way that I can hit the Incineroar, which is pretty important, which is another backup I want to Incineroar because as you can see from the rest of my team, the only mon that really is able to hit it for really good damage is going to be the Blastoise. So I want a way to hit Incineroar. I'm going to probably be just using regular Lucario, and I guess I could Mega in like very few situations, but I do really like the idea of just the Inner Focus Lucario putting in work, potentially just trading for the Hatterene, and a lot of other just immediate offense that it can go for. And again, helping out with Incineroar, very nice. So that's going to be the team for this week. I think this is a pretty good build, and I really wanted to try out the Whirlwind Vivian, so let's see if we can accomplish that in this week of the Draft League. All right, it's a bright sunny day. No Blastoise. Okay, interesting. And no Semi-Sage. I actually was really thinking Semi-Sage might pop up here. All right. Okay, gotta double check some stuff, but granted should be all right. So they did bring the Aggron as anticipated. And they brought Como, which is an interesting one here. Okay. Interesting. Alright, what's my plan gonna be? Spafford looks pretty decent. Blastoise looks solid here. I think... I don't want to lead Lucario immediately. Lucario's not a bad lead against this team in general. I just don't know if they're gonna go with the Gengar mode or the Tricker mode immediately. I think I'm just gonna do Blastoise Vivian. It seems probably pretty good here. And then I'm thinking maybe like Rotom Heat Spaffra isn't too bad in the back. Yeah, I'm gonna try this combo out and see how well it goes. I'm thinking Gengar mode game 1 and then it's the Hatterene Aggron mode game 2. So no Blastoise, that means I don't have to worry about double fake out. The mouse hold is not too surprising. I'm kind of curious if we're going to see any Como setup. I'm not sure if Como setup is worth it here for my opponent, but we'll see. Aggro mode is a bit weird, so I don't know if they would actually bring it immediately as a lead. I think they would go Gengar Mega Evolve for the first game. Let's see how this is going to go. Gengar mouse hold. Okay, so this is a lead I did kind of have in mind. So I can go for Rage Powder and I can go for Shell Smash. And that's pretty safe here. So I'm going to go for my Mega Evolution. I'm going to go for Shell Smash and I'm going to go for Rage Powder. I live Super Fang into Sludge Bomb if this is like Modest Gengar. This covers basically everything other than like Population Bomb Mouse Hold, which you can't have wide lens in this league. So it's kind of a gamble. I also have Citrus Berry. And I'll live any combination of stuff. So I think I'm going to go for a Rage Powder and a Shell Smash immediately. I don't think there's a clear punish here, so yeah. Let's go for Shell Smash. Let's go for a Rage Powder. The mouse could have Taunt, which could be a bit scary. This is Perish. That's fine. It's not ideal, but like I can play around it. Okay. All right, let's see. Taunt would be kind of annoying. I guess Taunt Perish Song turn 1 would be pretty scary, but I think I should be all right. Let's see. Okay, they go for Follow Me, so this is super ideal. Okay, so they have Follow Me on the mouse hold. Not too surprising. As we get a Rage Powder off. Icy Wind. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So Gengar has Icy Wind. I do go for the Shell Smash, and now I can go for a Rage Powder plus Shell Smash again, I think. Which I do kind of like. Yeah, I think I go for Rage Powder Shell Smash again, because if they go for Icy Wind, I'm +2. I don't even think I knock out the Gengar +2 due to Friend Guard, so I think that's 100% worth it. Also, I wish this would save. Okay. I do go for Shell Smash Rage Powder again. This is always my play because then I can go for Water Spout afterward and then Pollen Puff. So this is pretty solid, I'd say, of a position. I wonder if they would protect and play passive. I'm not 100% certain. I don't think they do, but could be an option. Okay, they go for Feint into Blastoise, which is fine because I do go for a Rage Powder again. All right. So they have Feint on the mouse hold. Good to know. Sludge Bomb. That's fine. Because I am really Spadef Vivian. I can't get poisoned because of Shield Dust. This is looking really good. This is a really ideal start here. Okay. So they have Sludge Bomb as well to be confirmed. Great. And now Water Spout is super, super solid here. The Gengar's dropping a +3. I don't think they have any counterplay here. And I guess I can go for a Rage Powder here. There's not really downside to it. I could Pollen Puff, but I don't think I need a Pollen Puff here. I guess like there's not downside to revealing it though. Because if this is Sash Mouse Hold with an attack, I guess it could be scary. But actually, I am going to go for Pollen Puff. I'm going to go for Pollen Puff. I'm going to target the Blastoise. Let's see. Gengar protects and Mouse Hold Sack here, I assume? Alright, so the Gengar probably doesn't have Perish Song, which is kind of what I expected here. They do go for a Protect with Gengar. Alright, so the Gengar has Protect. And they go for Feint again, which I can they did build up damage, which is why I also wanted to go for this Pollen Puff. So that is perfect. Okay. Super ideal start. Water Spout. Let's see. It is not Sash on the mouse. So good to know. All right. All right. That's an amazing turn for me. Like an amazing, amazing turn for me. As we Pollen Puff our Blastoise, we're back to full, and looking pretty rough for my opponent. They go Incineroar, but like, okay, what did they do here? I think they're just in a really tough spot. I can reveal my moveset, I suppose. I can just go for Double Protect here. I think that's pretty fine. I don't want to reveal... I think I'd rather reveal Protect on Vivian than like information of my Pokemon in the back, so yes. I guess the Incineroar could have Roar or something, but I think this is still better. Yeah, because even if it's Roar, I can't really stop it unless I attack. Maybe I could win for Water Spout Rage Powder, but I think this is still okay. I'd be very shocked if they have Roar here, but let's find out. Double Protect. Yeah, they just fake out. Yeah, that's... And now they're going to get blown back by Water Spout Pollen Puff. Yep, Sludge Bomb into Vivian. Perfect. Now I can just double up the Incineroar with Water Spout plus the Pollen Puff, and I'm in a really good position. Okay, so I don't think they have a counterplay to this for at least... this game, so that's really good for me. Okay, so because I don't see anything in the back that can win. Como could be in the back, but like that's fine, I suppose. If I do want to potentially make it into the playoffs, I do need to worry about differential. So is it worth showing the information? Probably, but it kind of depends on what their last Pokemon is. Is it going to be Como? Is going to be a good question. So I really like this start. I felt like there wasn't really much my opponent could do to punish it. And I don't know if I can... I think it's pretty good for a game too, but we'll see. Como comes in, which is not surprising. I wonder how much this damage does. I also get to confirm if it's like bulletproof here with the Pollen Puff. If this lives Water Spout. It does not live Water Spout. Okay, Blastoise going to get all 4 KOs. Okay. Epic Blastoise gaming. Epic Blastoise gaming. Goodbye, Como. And then... yeah, this is going to be a 4-0. So Blastoise putting in the work. I'm very glad I went with the Shell Smash Blastoise because I did change it a bit. Originally, I wasn't going to bring Shell Smash Blastoise, but then I'm like, you know what, we ball. So let's protect and let's just double protect here, then Water Spout into Pollen Puff, and that would be a good game. I guess actually no, my best play was the Water Spout Pollen Puff to Blastoise because well, I don't think they're going to have Roar on the Incineroar. I really don't. So we know the Incineroar has Fake Out. The Como goes down to +2. I guess I should calc Blastoise and +4 damage on Spout. It's very likely they don't have any bulk on the Como. And if they're bulky, I got a high roll. So very likely that they don't have bulk on the Como, which is good information to note. Okay. As we go for a double protect. As a Flare Blitz, good information to know. So they do have Flare Blitz, not surprising. Okay. And we're going to click Water Spout into Pollen Puff once again. Or do we just Rage Powder? I guess to cover for Sash. I get to find out if it's Posho Berry, which is actually kind of important for my matchup information notes. Okay, they're not Posho Berry. That's good to know. All right. So I can Water Spout them initially with raw damage. Okay. Pretty good start. Pretty good start, but we don't know 100% certain if this is like the best game plan. I don't know if they're going to adjust to like Mouse Hold Como, which I could see. Incineroar Como makes sense to me. Or Hattering could be brought here. All of those, I think, make a ton of sense. I'm trying to figure out what my best lead position is against those. I wonder, does Aura Spear knock out my Lucario? Oh, wait, did I? No, this is supposed to be regular Lucario. I put it wrong in the calc. I do live Aura Spear if it's timid, and if it's modest, it's a roll. Okay. So that's good to know. All right, game 1, really ideal. Let's see if we can squeeze out game 2. Because my Como answers aren't exactly the best. I don't think they're doing the Mousehold Gengar plan again. It just didn't work against my Blastoise mode. So I'm thinking maybe just go with Lucario mode here. Lucario seems pretty good. Maybe Lucario plus Espafra? I like Lucario Espafra. I think it covers a lot of the different options they have. Yeah, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a spat for Lucario. And then in the back, if I'm going with that mode, I should always be bringing Dragapult, Blastoise. Or I should be bringing... I don't have to bring Dragapult, but I need at least Blastoise. Water Spout Pressure is too important for Incineroar. The question is, am I bringing Rotom Heat or am I bringing Dragapult? Because if they go Hatterene mode, it's more likely they bring Aggron. So it might be worth to bring the Dragapult. It's also a decent backup to the Como, which is why I'm tempted here. It's either Dragapult or Rotom. This is a bit tough. Trying to think about which one's better. I think I go Dragapult. I think Dragapult's fine. I do have Charcoal for the Aggron, but I should still be good. I just don't expect Maushold Gengar again. I think it just doesn't do much. Unless they do have Taunt, but if they have Taunt, they probably should have revealed it in the first game. Hatterene Aggron. Okay, yeah, this is what I basically was expecting. So this is perfect. As I lead a Spafford plus Lucario. Alright. Good start. I have a few different options that I can go for. This is no Gengar mode, so this makes it a lot easier. The question is the Hatterene Sash? I really don't think it's Sash. I really don't think it's Sash. So I think I'm going to go for Lumina Crash into Aggron immediately, and I'm going to go for a Final Gambit into the Hatterene. If you're Sash, I'll gamble. Okay, they go for Protect, which is fine. I assume this is like Babiri Berry on the... What's it called? The Hatterene, which is why I'm going for this. I could have doubled the Hatterene. I really want this Spadef drop onto the Aggron if possible. And yeah, Final Gambit does KO the Hatterene. So Hatterene goes down, which is beautiful. Okay, beautiful. Good start. And we get a speed boost. Nice. Do I want to go out into Dragapult or do I want to go into Blastoise is the question. Both aren't bad here. It depends on who I think is being brought out. If it's Incineroar, I go Blastoise. If it's anything else, I probably go Dragapult. I think I go Blastoise. Yeah, Incineroar comes out. Okay. So that's fine. This is looking like a pretty good spot to be in because we are playing outside of Trick Room, which is really ideal here. I wonder if Lastmon's Maushold or if it's something else. I think I could go for Double Protect into Lumina Crash Spout. Let me just double check to make sure that KO's Aggron. Water Spout from... Oh yeah, I easily KO. Even if it's like Max Spadef Aggron. Yeah, so I just Double Protect here. Can Incineroar live Water Spout without Pasho? It's not Pasho and it's not Sash. We know that for a fact. If it's Max Spadef Incin, it has to be Max Spadef Incin. Okay. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Lumina Crash into Spout should be pretty solid into their team. So we'll see if this works. They didn't Mega Evolve Aggron. Did they have Gengar back? Okay. Fake out into Blastoise. I could have played more aggressive with the Spafford, but this is still fine. Head Smash. Oh, they wanted the same type of attack bonus. Okay, Head Smash. I did think they could bring a rock type move, like Stone Edge. I didn't think it was going to be Head Smash. Okay, so it's probably... That's good to know. I mean, what's stopping me from clicking Lumina Crash into Water Spout now? Lumina Crash into Water Spout KO's Aggron, so I'm willing to go for this here. Aggron going to Protect, that makes sense. The Incineroar has to be max special defense to live Water Spout. And if it's like not max Spadef, it's a roll. Like max Spadef barely lives Water Spout. So let's see. I could have also Shell Smash, but I don't think it's necessary. It's a bit too greedy here. Okay, it is max Spadef Incin. Like I got like a low roll into its max Spadef. Okay. Parting Shot to Blastoise, that's fine. I should still KO with Lumina Crash into Spout. Yeah. Well, it's going to be close. Como. All right. I mean, my Dragapult also looks really solid to win this endgame as well. I think I just Lumina crashed a Como. Well, I need the Lumina crash into Aggron because Aggron is also still kind of annoying damage-wise. A little bit tricky, actually, of a position now. I should have probably played a bit more aggressive. I'm going to Lumina crash the Aggron, and I'm going to Dark Pulse the Aggron. I need the damage into Aggron. Okay, they're going to Mega Evolve. That makes sense. The Como could be a bit of a problem, actually. I shouldn't have given him an opportunity. Maybe I should Calm Minded with his Spafra. Okay, here comes a Lumina crash into the Aggron. Good damage. Dark Pulse is not going to KO, unfortunately. Well, it depends on the Aggron set, I suppose. Oh, they boosted? Okay, that's fine. I don't mind if they boost. Yeah, I really don't mind if they boost, actually. Dark Pulse. Oh, almost KO'd Aggron. If I spouted, the game was over. They Heavy Slam. I should live this. Yeah. Okay, I do not mind that here. Because I can Lumina crash the Como. I think I probably have this game locked. Yeah, I think I do. I think I protect Blastoise. I Lumina crash the Como here. I just need Lumina crash damage into the Como to put in range of Dragapult Dragon Pulse guaranteed. Yes. And I didn't think they would protect here. Actually, I might just KO Como with Dragon Pulse. Actually, no. I do need the Lumina crash damage. Yeah. Okay. Good damage in Como. I really wish I Calm Minded that one turn that Aggron protected. I really should have. I should have Calm Minded that one turn. Citrus Berry on Como. Good to know. All right, so it's Citrus Berry. Clang Scales is fine. Because I should win the end game with Dark Pulse into Dragon Pulse. Because I have Sash on the Dragapult. So I might not win with the best differential here, but I should win the game guaranteed. Because now we go on a Dragapult. How much does Clang Scales do to Blastoise, I suppose? Clang Scales +1 from Modest. Oh, it does like half to Blastoise. Very good. Water Spout will KO the Incineroar. So I can go for Dragon Pulse into the Como. Dragon Pulse, the Como, and Water Spout. Yeah, that guarantee seals it here. Okay. Also, the Como is timid. They do less damage. They are timid. Okay, good to confirm. But I do have Sash on the pull for a reason. So, perfect. I do win this game too. All right. Nice. All right. My prep was actually really good. Last minute prep always does better than my really long preps, but I do think I didn't really complicate the situation. I think like my Blastoise plan was pretty good. I felt like a Spafra was a good adjustment. I think like my game 2, like I kind of called that not going to Gengar mode because it just didn't work into game 1. And I felt like the trigger mode maybe had something that they could accomplish in game 2. This worked out pretty well, especially since I was able to study the week 1 replay, which is the only replay we had going before this match. They kind of did the same thing to their opponents, so I was able to kind of guess on that, and that information was huge. Incineroar comes in, I just win the game now because I can click Dragon Pulse into Spout here. So nice, we will take a win, and the differential is pretty solid here. So good games to Playmore and General. I do not know how to pronounce their name. I do not know how to pronounce their name. But we do take the first win for the Jubilife Piplups in the Wolfey Draft League. Is this the start of a comeback? Maybe. But I do enjoy my prep here. I'm actually really surprised that Como was brought. I was really expecting Simisage. I could have seen them bring their own Blastoise. I was like pretty sure they weren't bringing Gliscor. And then Rotom Fan was something I was considering, but like I wasn't sure if they were exactly going to bring that because I think I did have like decent Mons in the Rotom Fan, and I think it's also a little bit hard to set up, so really nice. Good games to the boys there, but whew, all right. Jubilife Piplups on the board. On the board. Watch out, Wolfey Draft League. It's time for the comeback. And that is week 4 of the Wolfey Draft League. Season 2. We finally get a win, which I'm very happy about because this win did feel very rewarding. I feel the prep was really good and the idea just paid off. The Shell Smash Blastoise, the Vivian put in a ton of work against Playmore, and the Lucario adjustment. Like, I think the studying a little bit of like what was the style, since it was a new opponent, I did want to kind of like look up a little bit, and I did see like the first week at least, and I saw the Gengar mode game 1, and then game 2 was going to be the Hatterene plus the Aggron mode. Kind of read that here and was able to have a really good shot because Mega Blastoise was able to dominate the first game, and then the final game at Lucario was just so good, as I mentioned before, in that game 2 mode against the Hatterene. I was just able to push my advantage off the lead and was able to really capitalize. So we are on the board. We'll make a push for playoffs, and we'll see if we are able to continue a win streak. But of course, go check out Playmore as well as the rest of the coaches in the Wolfey Draft League. And yeah, we'll catch you all next week.